How is everybody doing? Hope you're all well. In this video, we're going to take a look at my Highway One guitars. I now proudly own four, two Strats, two Telecasters. Highway Ones are a pretty cool instrument for reasons that I'll explain in this video. There's not an awful lot out there about them. I mean, you can go on forums and on websites and all these kind of things, and there's collectors that actually like them. There's one guy actually on Strat Talk, and he has about 12 of them or something like that, every color. But yeah, you can't really find one place that tells you everything about them. But they're pretty. They're pretty unique, pretty cool in Fender's long-winded and often twisted history. Originally brought out in 2002. It was kind of a bare bones USA made guitar. Remember that the US standard was out at the time, but this was kind of a bare bones USA. That was cheaper than the USA standard. So what they were doing here was they were kind of giving you a kind of a hybrid instrument. It was vintage and modern at the same time. So most of them had modern C-necks and medium jumbo frets and ping tuners. The necks were poly, but it was kind of a nice light poly. But the bodies, and this is what everybody loves, is the bodies were acrylic and nitro. I'm not sure with 100% certainty. The early models from 2002 until 2005 or 6 had a type of an acrylic, and this actually flew off really quickly when you played with them and stuff like that. They'd actually stain people's shirts if they had white shirts and stuff like that. Some people call them Crayola guitars because it was like a crayon marking you. I think it was an acrylic finish, and then in 2006 they started putting a nitro on, and that was a little bit of a harder finish, but still very, very nice. Now, I think that Fender made a mistake in 2006 because the Strats from that year on had the big, clumsy, clunky CBS style headstock. That's a mistake, I think, because some people like it, some people don't. I actually hate it, and the problem with that as well is they continued it into the American Special Series, which more or less took over from the Highway One in 2010. They were both produced side by side for a while, but the Highway Ones disappeared. The big headstock on the Strat was a shame, and when the American Specials started to wind down in 2018, or I think, the American Performer Strats also had the big headstock, and that was a bit of a shame. Also, what they did in 06 was they put hotter pickups on the guitars, and they sound horrible. I had them on this Telecaster, and they sounded absolutely horrendous. There was just nothing good about them. It's a beautiful Telecaster. I mean, I love the way it's all worn and stuff like that. It's fantastic. But the pickups were horrible. They were harsh. There was nothing to like about them. There was no warmth. They were very hot. I think the neck was 13K and the bridge was about 8, but that's not bad for a bridge. But I replaced them with Yosemite, Fender Yosemite, and it's a massive improvement. This is actually probably my favorite Telecaster now for recording and stuff like that. It's amazing. Sounds fantastic. Also, they just put the 70s style logo on them like that, which I don't mind. Like, I like the spaghetti. But this was my very first. Bought this in 2018. It was my very first USA guitar, believe it or not. And I bought this, and I think I paid, I think it was neither 500 euros or 550. And this guitar is from 2005, and this guitar was never really played because there's very, very, very little. There's, you know, the superficial stuff on the obviously it's a bit of wear here if you put up to the light, like whoever was playing and stuff like. But frets are all perfect, rosewood fingerboard and stuff, and it's nice. You know, the medium jumbos on it. These are the original pickups. I think at the beginning they used Fender Classic Series pickups, and they're not bad. They're Alnica 3. They're, you know, modest output, you know, 5, 6, 7 kind of thing. But yeah, this is mint, absolutely mint. I mean, well, it's not mint, but it's in excellent condition. You know, all this. I know people modify and put brass saddles and stuff on, but you know, it's kind of a 60s vibe to it. Again, it's a hybrid. It looks vintage down here. They all have 22 frets, which is, it's, I mean, okay, fair enough. Like, it's not something I love, but when you're playing, you don't really notice it. I think 21 is perfect. It's the Fender original fret count, really. But yeah, they're nice. You know, it's fantastic. It's a beautiful instrument. All original, left it as it is. And then, like I said, the next one I bought was 2018, I think, was it? No, sorry, 2019 I bought this from a guy in London. And like I said, I never gelled it, I didn't really like it. Now this is a 2007. It's got the jumbo frets. Now they're big. But again, I like them, you know what I mean? They don't bother me, you know. I really do prefer medium jumbo on a 9.5 radius over anything else. The vintage radius and the spaghetti frets, the tiny ones, I find that they kind of make your fingers tired or something like that. I'm not sure if you're trying to, you know, there's more contact with the wood. But yeah, I swapped out the pings on this as well. I put in classic gear. Classic gear are beautiful. I love them. I think they're a great idea by Fender. They just pop in where the pings come out. They've got the 2 prongs, so there's no need for drilling or anything like that. So I think they're lovely. They really hold tuning well. I'm very happy with them, you know, for what they cost. They're actually quite cheap. So like I said, Yosemite in here for the last few months. And this is a dinger. Yeah. Then, I think, was it 2019 again? I bought this from a guy in London. This one is tattered. But again, all original. I think this is the Classic Series. Some of the earlier models from 2002 have got pickups. They have different types of pickups. One guy even said he had one with spaghetti frets. You know, they're probably using parts from all over the place. Yeah, this one is pretty tattered. It's got, I mean, people are paying 3 or 4,000 for guitars that look like this now, you know, closet classics and custom shop relics and all that stuff. What I love about the Strats is that you still get the old vintage style bridge, which is my favorite, really. It is, I don't like the 2-point, you know, it looks a bit dumb. Again, 22 frets. There is Highway Ones with 21 frets. I think they're called the Texas. They're quite rare, and they, I think I can't remember what kind of pickups they have, but they're quite good. These are nice, you know. But overall, this guitar is, I wouldn't say it's a fantastic sounding Strat. It's just, it lacks a little. It's a little bit dead, you know. It lacks the sparkle and the chime. I reckon the pickups for some reason don't suit this. You know, I've often thought about putting something else into it. But again, it's nice, you know. It is, like I said, it's nice. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, yeah, but I feel that the pickups could be better. It just, for this particular guitar, it's a little bit underwhelming. But I'm kind of gonna keep it all original. You know, I mean, you could get better pickups without a doubt. And my latest is this one that I just got there 2 days ago, and this is an 04, and this is a 2002. So this is one of the very early ones. These 2 pickups are the original Player series, or Classic series, sorry. And this one, I don't know what it is. It looks like a Fat 50. It's got slugs or beveled It doesn't sound great. It's a slightly lower volume than the other two, but other than that, these two sound fantastic. This guitar sounds fantastic. It plays really well. I'm very, very happy with it. Again, all original. Well, the scratch plate isn't because it came with a vintage style scratch plate. But mostly original side here. Somebody put in a big orange drop as well. Capacitor, which is nice. I don't mind people doing that. I don't think there's any difference. But this one sounds great. In the mid, it sounds fantastic. Best Strat sound I ever heard. Beautiful and fat and bloomy on the neck. In between, nice. But this is just a bit of a letdown. I think I'm just going to go and buy. I was going to put Yosemite in it. At the moment, I can't seem to find them anywhere. They seem to be sold out everywhere. But I think I'm going to get a classic series. I only got 3 to match this, the same one, and put it back in and see how it sounds. If it sounds fantastic, then I'd say I won't be going on the Yosemite route. I already put classic gear on it again. The pings, I'm not sure. Yeah, this guitar is absolutely beautiful. I've been playing it for the last 2 days solid since I got it, and I put on an old spare cream scratch plate. But there you go. Yeah, my trims are buttoned down. You know, I don't use trim. Yeah, so it's the finish on it is just like the nitro. You can see the wood. There's a few dings, but it doesn't bother me. You know, they ding beautifully. It just whatever you hit flakes off, and that's it. I mean, there is a kind of a sealant coat underneath the acrylic or the nitro, whatever you want to call it. But it's just gorgeous. You know, it really is. These are beautiful instruments. I love them. Modern C. Yeah, she's a beauty. It really is a keeper. I mean, they just, I don't know, I just love them. I think they're cool. I just love nitro. You know, I wanted, like I said, I've got USA Maple with rosewood, and then I wanted USA with rosewood. This is a very dark rosewood as well, which is, that really floats my boat. I think the darker the better. It looks really like, you know, like something from the 60s. Compared to this, it's almost like Pau Ferro. It's very light looking, you know, and it's quite light, you know, quite light here. It looks like a non-core guitar, you know, those Korean ones, remember, from the very, very light color, you know what I mean? But this is pretty good. I mean, that's a dark rosewood. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. That is absolutely perfect. If I was going to go for a custom shop guitar, I'd be demanding dark rosewood, and it's almost like ebony, you know, and I just love that, especially on a Fiesta Red Strat as well. It looks incredible. But yeah, the Highway Ones, like I said, they're fantastic. I love them. Some people hate them. You know, they just like the poly bodied fenders that look, you know, that always look forever young. Forever young, Bob Dylan. But these, for me, I mean, yeah, there's some nice guitars in the Vintera 2 range, but they're up to 1,200 euros, maybe 1,300 euros at this stage. And again, you're back to the vintage frets and the 7.25. Ideally, this is the kind of, these are the specs I love. You know, they're the ones, it's not that I love them, it's just that they work the best for me for playing and stuff. And I think you know, the problem with Fender is that then if you want to get nitro, you got to go to American Original, American Vintage, and those guitars newer, you know, 2,400 now. So that's a lot, like, you know what I mean? You're nearly up to custom shop at that stage. You know, and yeah, and these have gone up in value. You know, over the years they're gone up in value. I mean, yeah, I've seen them now. I mean, it's very hard to get them for under $1,000. I mean, it's almost impossible. There's some mint examples out there on Reverb and on eBay, and there's some mint examples out there. And there's some people are charging 1,800 euros for them. Are they worth 1,800? Probably not. But the fact that they haven't been made for 14 years and they're getting rare, and if you want nitro and you want something bare bones and you want the the fingerboard and neck specs, well, you're kind of caught really. But you'll find them, out there. You know what I mean? There's some lovely colors, teal, and there's a dark blue as well. And you can see they're translucent. You see the green, but yeah, I could highly recommend them. I just think that the facelift models, I think Fender made a mistake really. The pickups that were in this, I think they were like Tex-Mex. They were absolutely horrible. There was no brass plate underneath the bridge pickup, which is kind of ridiculous for a telly. But I know this doesn't either. There's no plate because they're classic series. I don't think there's any metal plate underneath that, and of course they're plastic bobbins. Well, the bobbins, it's a cosmetic thing. You know what I mean? At least the Yosemites have the card bobbins. I like card. It looks good. It looks vintage. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? The plastic just looks cheaper, that's all. But plastic is good because you can adjust the poles as well. But I think at the end of the day, if it sounds good, just leave it, because we pick out too much. Oh, the color of this and this and that. I've seen some amazing guitars with amazing paint jobs and all that stuff, but they sounded dull. There's nothing wrong with it if it works. That's the way I see it. So anyway, yeah. That's Highway Ones. Leave some comments below and tell me how you feel about them and what you think about them. I just think that they're absolutely amazing. I love them. I seem to play these now a lot, yeah. And like I said, there's a lot of the Mexican quality, the quality of Mexican guitars these days is fantastic. I know people will come along and say that Squires are up there with Mex and all this stuff. They're not. They really aren't. You can modify a Squire, you can do all this and that, but at the same time, if you want a guitar for life, I would definitely recommend, USA is probably the holy grail in some ways. It's that's where Fender's from. I know it's only a badge at the end of the day, and most of the stuff on them isn't even made in USA. They don't even say made in USA anymore. It says made in USA on all these, but you can bet that the knobs, the plates, everything is Chinese. The tuners, you know what I mean. So yeah, it's not the real deal anymore. But it's just that the quality of USA and the resale value is definitely higher than, say, Mex. I see Mexican guitars now, and they're 3 or 4 years old, and people are still looking for higher. They're looking for big money for them secondhand, and they're not selling because the fact is, it's just they're not worth the money. Like, you know what I mean? You're better off just getting, throwing all the chips in and getting something decent. If you have to upgrade a guitar dramatically, like by putting in, lots of things into it, well then you're buying the wrong guitar. I believe that you should just buy the best you can afford, and it's a long process. I mean, I know lots of guys who say, "Oh, I love my Mexicans and stuff," and I have some of my Mexican guitars I love, and I play them all the time. But I don't know. In the last, since Christmas, I've just been really hovering around this, my American Special Telecaster, the green one. I play this. I play this as well. I record with it because it's it's got the lower output. They're technically vintage pickups. The classic series, and now this is probably the best Strat I've heard. It's the best one I own. I've a Clapton, I've got this, I've got the Noventa, which is P90s, and that's a different beast altogether, and I love that as well. It's got a beautiful neck on it, but it's a different type of thing. But as traditional Strats go, with the 5-way and the vintage style bridge and the vintage measured pickups, and then like I said, it's a hybrid technically. You can't go wrong, and this is fantastic. Yeah, beautiful guitars, and they'll probably be collectible someday, and they are already. I mean, the value has gone up. I mean, when these were new, I think they were about what, $650. Now, like I said, you won't get them for under $1,000. I was very lucky with this, and this was actually quite cheap as well. This was quite cheap. Like, they were all around. What I paid for the 3 of these 5 years ago, or we'll say roughly, was less than €2,000. So that was 5, and they were 6 each. Six, maybe, yeah, 12, and 1700, like, for the three of these. Like, if you were giving them away now, like, you would probably still be getting 800 a piece. So 3 8 24, they've gone up in value. Yeah, and like I said, they're keepers. The guitars for life, they're fantastic. I mean, the way they chip and stuff like that, it's just, yeah, it's like that reeks of the 70s. You know what I mean? And I'm not into vintage guitars. It's just that I'd never say I'm a vintage collector, and I won't be. But I just like them to look like vintage guitars. With the modern configuration that makes playing good and suits your own style of playing. You know what I'm saying? And that's it, really. That's all there is to say. Highway Ones, definitely, if you ever feel like getting a US, if you want to get a US Strat, second-hand guitars have something about them. They're already broken in. There's no work to do. You can just, set them up the way you like them. I mean, when I got this the other day, it was actually, it wasn't easy to play. There was nothing likable about it. But then when I actually set it up the way I like it, now I think it's fantastic. You know what I mean? I just love it, and it sounds fantastic, and I'm very, very happy with it. So there you go. That's it. That's the Highway One guitars. I think they made basses as well. I know they made the Precision, and they may have done the Jazz bass, but I'm not sure if there was any Jazz Masters or any of those guitars on the Highway One series. I don't know. Would be quite interesting, and I reckon if there was, they'd be going for a fortune. Jazz Masters look great as well when they're worn out, So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Like I said, leave comments. Tell me if you have Highway Ones, what you think of them. A lot of people diss them and say, oh, they were made in Mexico and put together in the USA. Nothing is really made in the USA anymore. Like the factory stands, stuff comes, the wood is from all over the world. It's like, it means nothing anymore. It means nothing anymore, you know what I mean? It's like a car, BMW, there's probably loads of Chinese parts inside it, put together, in different countries and joined up in Germany and stuff like. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and take care.